Good morning, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to episode number 113 in the book of Genesis. We're in Genesis chapter 26. Open your Bibles, turn there. We're in this passage where God just told Isaac, I'm going to be with you. I'm going to bless you. I'm going to give you all these lands. I'm going to establish the oath I made to your father Abraham. I'm going to multiply your offspring, and by them all the nations of the earth are going to be blessed. So all this incredible promise. And then he does this knuckleheaded thing in today's passage. Listen to this, Genesis 26, verse 6. This is about Isaac. So Isaac settled in Gerar. That's in right where Gaza is today. When the men of the place asked him about his wife, he said, "She is my sister." For he feared to say, "my wife," thinking, lest the men of the place should kill me because of Rebekah, because she was attractive in appearance. When he had been there a long time, Abimelech, king of the Philistines, looked out of the window and saw Isaac laughing with Rebekah, his wife. That also mean cuddling and cavorting and being intimate with her. Verse 9, so Abimelech called Isaac and said, "Behold, she's your wife. How could you say she's my sister?" Isaac said, "Because I thought, lest I die because of her." Abimelech said, "What is this you have done to us?" His father Abraham did the same thing. One of the people might easily have lain with your wife, and you would have brought guilt upon us. So Abimelech warned all the people, saying, "Whoever touches this man or his wife shall surely be put to death." So going on. Then Isaac sowed in the land and reaped in the same year 100-fold. The Lord blessed him, and he became rich, gained more and more until he became very wealthy. He had possessions of flocks and herds and many servants, so that the Philistines envied him. Now the Philistines had stopped and filled with earth all the wells that his father's servants had dug in the days of Abraham his father. And Abimelech said to Isaac, "Go away from us. You are much mightier than we." So Isaac here gets busted for acting familiarly, laughing and caressing this woman who he says is his sister, and Abimelech catches on to this right away and says, "Hey, this is your wife." So Isaac does the same thing that Abraham did twice by saying, "Hey, she's my sister," and then the passage tells us why he did this, because he feared. So he bears false witness about his wife, because he's afraid. What is he afraid of? Is he afraid of her virtue? No, he's afraid of his life, just like Abraham was. So let's talk about marriage for a second. Being married is an exciting, but it is also a dangerous thing. We are supposed to be acting to protect the others from your spouse from danger, protecting your spouse from danger and temptation, and serving them by thinking of them and protecting them rather than thinking about yourself. Genesis 2:42 talks about that. Therefore a man shall leave his father and mother and hold fast to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. In this passage, all we know, if that's all you know about marriage, you know that Isaac does a terrible job of holding fast. He doesn't hold fast at all. He gives her up to the Philistines and to the king of the Philistines, Abimelech. All right, let's talk about beauty for a second. Rebekah is attractive appearance. How pretty is she? She's beautiful enough to kill for. So she's dangerously beautiful. And the people there are elevating their lusts above godly principles. Now we know the one about one man for one woman, and this person in a marriage covenant is not for you, and this person is for their spouse. Now, the Ten Commandments haven't happened, but you see all the principles of God still existed then. They're just written down in the Ten Commandments coming up in Exodus. But thou shalt not steal. The people would violate that. Thou shalt not covet. They want her. And shall not murder. And they are willing probably to murder Isaac for this. So men are not going to do the right thing with the beauty of the woman who is not their own, and that certainly is a call. So today, so this isn't just for something that's 4,000 years ago. If you see a beautiful person, a beautiful woman, beautiful person of the opposite sex, do the right thing with their beauty. That person is not for you. So all along here, this is a story about God's redemption and his provision and his making a covenant with his people. And God sees the famine that's going on. He sees his fear. He unfortunately sees the foolishness of men. But all along here, there's this plan that God is enacting. There's a big theme that started with Abraham. It's going to go all the way through to Christ. So it continued, this continuance of the line of Abraham. So God chooses to continue to be involved with humans. And God could have said quite justly, I'm done with you people. This is the third strike on this particular sin of, offering your wife to pagan kings. And yet God says, I am with you. So interesting, this passage, right before it, there's this Oreo cookie sandwich of where God says, I will go before you. I will be with you. I'm promising you my presence. Then you get this knuckleheaded passage of Isaac, and then it concludes again with another passage where God says, I am with you. All right, so let's make some conclusions here today. Number one, regarding beauty and attractiveness, and specifically sexual attractiveness. So men, do the right thing with beautiful women who are not your own. How would you want your relative thought of, your wife thought of, your sister thought of? And this can be applied to actions, affairs, Tinder, Ashley Madison, pornography, but it can also be applied to your thoughts and where does your mind go. So those two action points. Then with regards to marriage, let's be acting to protect the other from danger. Let's hold fast to them. Our spouses are not disposable, and probably there's some way that you could serve your spouse in a better way and hold on in some way. And then the third thing, God's presence in our life. We know He knows our life is scary and life can be unkind and there's adversity. But when you walk with God, your problems don't go away. Here's what changes. The company you keep gets better. And that's what I wanted to end with today, is the company you keep get better. The God of creation, the sustaining and sacrificing God, He walks with you. I will be with you. So you, podcast person, walk as if He is walking with you. Don't live like the pagans. Don't morally act like the pagans. Don't mourn like the pagans. Don't think of sex like the pagans. Don't think of your spouse like the pagans as disposable. So all along here, watch for God's divine provision and promise amidst adversity. I will be with you, Isaac. I will be with you, podcast listener. I am the company that you are to be keeping. Thanks for listening.